3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest? What is going on? Your two favorite people in all of the podcast world are back with Southwest ISD Athletics to inform you on. This is Scoreboard. I am Brandon Medina, and we have your athletic director of all things SWISD Athletics, Mr. Peter Wagner, in the building. How are we doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? You know, Pat McAfee might have something to say about that.
Listen, Pat McAfee needs to stay in Pat McAfee's lane. And I'm sure he's not covering local education here in San Antonio. But we are back with another podcast. If you don't know, this is your premier podcast for all things SWISD Athletics, from golf, tennis, baseball, softball, soccer, even into the middle school sports. We're going to be highlighting a lot of those today. Let's start off with golf. I know we have some interesting news in the golf world of Southwest.
Yeah, so kind of this is championship season for some of our for some of our sports. So right now, the last 2 days, our girls have been at the district golf tournament at Golf Club of Texas, and they finished up yesterday on Tuesday. So Southwest girls had a third place finish as a team, which is probably one of the first times we've had a full on team compete, and we're pretty close to qualifying as a team for regionals. But we did have somebody qualify, a returner to the regional world is Savannah Blanco. And so she was one of our first girls to qualify in a long time, and she's headed to Brownsville in a couple weeks to compete in the regional golf tournament. So we're really proud of her. The boys golf teams from Legacy and Southwest are competing, and I know the boys from Southwest were around fourth place going into today's second round. And given what the weather looks like today, we'll see how that second round goes.
Tough one.
Yep. So we're happy about them, and good luck, Savannah, when you go to regionals. Good luck to the boys from both Southwest and Legacy competing today. So that's golf, sir. How's your golf swing lately?
Listen, I played recently at Mission Del Lago, and they fixed up that course real nice. You know, your boy's a golf alum here at Southwest ISD.
That's true.
Right?
Because you didn't have to run anywhere.
Yeah, that's exactly why. And the sport of golf, I think, is taken very lightly by most, but it's an extremely difficult sport to be good at. And it's also extremely frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, so for Coach Bell, he's still looking for a wedge that's in the water somewhere in Corpus Christi.
Hey, we had one. Bryson Chris broke his driver yesterday in the middle of it. I was like, how do you break your driver, Bryson? He's like, I don't know. It just broke.
Yeah, definitely that's not what happened. Yeah. We're slamming that into the ground 100%.
It's all right. He did all right, so we're good. Deal with adversity, sir.
Exactly. Deal with adversity. But
yeah.
A big congratulations to those looking to move on. And obviously, it's Savannah, you said, right? Correct?
Yep, Savannah Blanco.
Savannah Blanco. First off, great name for a golfer.
Yeah,
right? Very
real.
solid.
Yep.
That's marketable.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Savannah
Let's
Blanco
go.
from Southwest ISD, 100%.
Yep.
So we want to wish you the best of luck. And then now let's get a little involved into tennis. I know you said tennis. We have a lot of things going on.
So just want to they start their varsity competition today at Southwest High School. We got Legacy and Southwest going on. So
little fire and armor action.
Yeah, little fire and armor, but they're not playing each other. It's like a single. They do singles, doubles,
gotcha,
all that kind of stuff. So just want to give some shout outs to some kids that are highly likely or that are top notch, ready to go.
Yep.
Expecting for them to move on, have great tournament this week. So from Southwest High School, you know, we got Miriam Medina and Luceto Alvarado for girls doubles, and in singles we have Solangel Perez. And the one who has an outside shot of making regionals is Jason Miranda as well. So the regional tournament is going to be in Corpus Christi on April 12th and 13th.
Nice.
When we're talking about the mighty Titans, you know, district outlook for these guys is you got in boys doubles Christian Altamirano and Jacob Cruz are looking at they got big shots at moving on to going to Corpus. And then in mixed doubles we got Nicolette Esquivel and Dante Cortez looking like they got a pretty good shot. So good luck to them and all those kids that are competing in that. And I know we got some great coaches and some great kids that are playing tennis right now. And you know, kind of like our golf team though, dealing with a little adversity with the weather and stuff. But we know that they're ready to go and practiced up and wish them a lot of luck.
Yeah, that's in about 2 weeks over there. You said April 12th and 13th and stuff. So with that, I know the big thing in April is obviously April showers. So hopefully it's a clear day for them. You don't want to be playing in the rain. But good luck to all of our tennis players. And then going off of that, I know we have big news in baseball as well as softball. But I know in baseball we had a pretty big upset from a team we've been talking about
man.
for a while.
We've been for weeks. We've been talking about the mighty Titans baseball team. They're just on the cusp. They're like they had South San in the last inning and 1 run, 2 run losses. They're just fighting and kudos to Coach De La Rosa, Coach Sanford, and those guys for keeping those guys positive, keeping them fighting, because last Tuesday, they beat the team that was tied for first, 7-2, and Eagle Pass Win was pitching their ace and scored 7 runs and got over the hump. So a great lead up to the Fire and Armor Classic coming up on Friday at Southwest High School between the Dragons and the Titans, because now the Dragons are alone in first place, so they get to try to slay another first place team, and the Titans do. So the baseball team from Southwest is off to a great start as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Dragons right now are 5-1 in district, like you said, number 1 alone, now that the Legacy Titans kind of took care of the other guys. However, lots of really tough scheduling. So I know Legacy has Southwest High School in their final matchup on Friday, and then they face McCullum back-to-back, who obviously is going to be a tough team to beat too. Yeah. On the Dragon side for baseball, they face that final matchup, and then they face Wynn back-to-back.
And then Medina Valley.
So, I mean, this schedule is brutal for a lot of these guys, and I think this is where you really got to start seeing who wants it in the bullpen, who's going to be able to be pitching pretty comfortably, who's going to be consistent at bats. Obviously, it's going to be a very big shakeup, I think, in this district race.
And thanks to our RC Audio guys, you look at those, you look at the standings, and there's only like 2 games that separate 5th place from first place.
Yeah,
a
lot of changes coming.
So like you can't let your guard down against anybody, because you could take a dip in the standings real fast. So you really gotta come prepared, come ready to go, because no matter what, the last place team can take the first place team out, no problem. So you better come ready to come with your A game, because if you don't, you never know what might happen.
Yeah. Now, what about softball? Any big news in softball?
Well, softball, the girls from Southwest are just moving along at the same clip. They ruled Win on Tuesday night, 11-1. The Fire and Armor Classic on Friday was the Titans put up a good fight for a few innings, and then we got going. You know what I mean? And so the Dragons are sitting in second right now.
Okay.
Behind South San, and South San's
South
San's a beast. I think they ruled every single team in the district.
Oh my
goodness! In the first round of district. So So they're smoking hot right now and stuff like that.
You gotta find out when that matchup's coming up, huh?
So you got and I think their top 5 hitters that all hit at least 1 or 2 home runs.
Wow.
And stuff. Yeah, they're legit, man. So but the Dragon softball team I think they're surprising a few people, maybe even themselves, because they're so young. I think we start 5 freshmen.
Yeah.
On that team. The battery is freshmen, and so we're just getting started with those ladies. So got some great senior leadership between Casey Kuntz and Angela Morales, and then the young ones. So pretty exciting times with the Dragon softball team. And if they keep this up, just a big picture thing. We have 8 team sports, right? You got now we have 9, right? So because with water polo, so you got water polo, team tennis, football, volleyball, girls and boys basketball, girls and boys soccer, baseball, and softball, right?
Yep.
So if you look at the Dragons made the playoffs in water polo.
Yep.
Boys and girls.
Yep.
They made the playoffs in football, volleyball, team tennis, boys basketball, girls and boys soccer.
Yep.
And right now they're on pace to be in the playoffs in baseball and softball.
Mm-hmm.
We have 9 team sports, and they've made the playoffs in 8 of them.
Man.
And stuff. So, you talk about one of the best years and results oriented right there at Southwest High School. So kudos to Coach Franco, that entire coaching staff. And you take the girls cross country team; they made it to regionals as a team. So kudos to them on that kind of accomplishment.
Yeah. Now,
so
I know with that, obviously, a lot of things are happening at the high school level here at SWISD, and there's a lot of movement in the positive direction for a lot of these teams. Obviously, the big thing that we'll be getting into later on in the show is, of course, the soccer playoffs. Southwest ISD's continue to move on for the Dragons for Southwest High School. But before we do all of that, we also really like to shout out the next generation of athletes for SWISD that starts at the middle school level. So let's talk about a little bit of the middle school athletics and what we've kind of missed out on, or what we need to kind of give an update on, if you don't mind.
So middle school obviously is where the championships are built, right?
Yep.
And so you look at this last week, we just finished up our season of boys soccer and girls basketball, right? So I want to give a couple of shout outs to. So understand that our middle school conference consists of pretty much the entire south side of San Antonio. Between when we go to tournaments, there's a lot of teams in these tournaments, because you take the districts of, I'm not gonna name the schools, it'll take forever, but you take the districts of Medina Valley, Southwest, Somerset, Edgewood, South San, Harlandale, South Side, Floresville, and Pleasanton are all in our district.
And then
all in our conference.
all of those middle school
and
feeders.
all of those middle school feeders. So all of their middle schools are in our conference.
Crazy.
And so there's a lot. And so we have a tournament at the end of the year for each of these things. So I want to shout out three teams for making it either to the championship game or winning the championship game, right? So we'll start with girls basketball. The 8th grade girls B team at Resnick Middle School lost in the championship game to Somerset, but great season on their part. Great job to the Resnick girls basketball coaching staff. The Resnick 8th grade boys soccer team lost in the championship as well. That was their only loss of the season. They were undefeated in zone, and we're in there with Harlandale in our zone. And so that was the only loss they had, but they lost in the championship game 2-0 on that one. And then finally, the McNair 7th grade boys soccer team, they won the Big 12 championship.
Very
so
awesome.
Kudos to them. I think they may have been undefeated as well. So great job to them, to those coaches and those kids and parents and everybody. So congratulations, and lots of good things coming up for both Southwest High School and Southwest Legacy High School with all of that. So kudos to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Middle school level, like you said, it's where you build championships, and to hear these guys and girls making it to that level already, right, competing at a high level, whether it be undefeated or just getting to a playoff spot or a championship bracket, is great. And when you talk about championships, we may have seen the growth of that level from middle school to now high school, and maybe we're seeing the fruits of that labor possibly in the soccer competitions that we have here at Southwest ISD. So I know before we go into the Southwest High School Dragon boys soccer team, we also need to update that both boys and girls won their district races, correct?
Yep. So Southwest High School, they for the 3rd straight year swept the soccer world in district. And I think for the 2nd straight year they were both undefeated as well. And then you had the Legacy Titan girls also went to the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. So kudos to them. So yeah, it's building and growing, and soccer's going and stuff like that. But I think all of our programs are really going. You look at we talked about Southwest and what they're doing, but from football to their tennis program's growing big time. Obviously, their cross country program's huge. The boys basketball team made the playoffs, and so on and so forth. So things are growing all across the district, and that's because of what we do at our middle schools.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And so, Wagner, tell me real quick, man, as the athletic director, looking at kind of like you said, the soccer program starting to take shape, water polo taking shape, all that good stuff from our aquatic center and middle school level. What do you think has changed over, let's say, the past, few years that you're starting to see the competition get greater? You're starting to see the gap wider, that we're getting better than most schools at a quicker pace. What do you think is changing within Southwest ISD?
I think that our coaches are doing a good job getting down to the middle school to a certain degree. I think that we're doing a good job of creating pathways for our kids to get into club sports, and then really focusing on how do we get more of our kids to do that. And we've talked about that a lot. And so we're really getting into those things. We're Nike Pro Skills basketball club has committed to coming in and giving our kids a discount so they'll practice here and things like that. And I think that we're going to have tryouts on the April 10th and April 15th April 10th for boys from 6th grade to 12th grade, and April 15th I think is what it is for girls ages from 6th grade to 12th grade. And that, I mean, they're going to get a 50% discount for being in that thing and all of their practices, and that's take place here. And so that's what's going to really take that's what started this, I think, a little bit. With the middle school programs, and then our coaches creating avenues for our kids to find other places to play as well. And then so we are trying to create a system that our kids can and families can have an affordable option that makes sense for them to continue to grow. And I think our programs are going to continue to grow. And that's why our soccer programs are doing so well, because they've really embraced that and stuff. You got to give some credit to not just Rush, but really to Tapatios, Coach Julio, and those guys have done a great job. And those types of things are what make good programs, those kinds of partnerships.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what you see in our soccer programs right now.
Yeah, and you look at the soccer program. Speaking of, Legacy had their second playoff berth, like you said, in women's soccer. And then you have on the women's soccer side of Southwest, they win the district. Both, unfortunately, seasons have come to an end. But when it comes to the boys and men's side of the soccer tournament, man, this is just.
So, I mean, how cool was it last Thursday to have a doubleheader of girls and boys winning by district championships at home? You know what I mean? And last Thursday, and so that was super cool, and something that I don't think everybody understands does not happen. So kudos to the coaches, but kudos to our assistant athletic director Melanie Henson for getting that scheduled and winning a few coin flips and things like that to make that happen.
Yeah, and so you said last Thursday Southwest boys beat Jefferson, and that was 5-0. That was a game that I know we had to hear about quite a bit from our good old boy, Mr. Chief Palomo over there. He's excited, and obviously, as that continued on, we also saw the girls play a game last Thursday as well, where they won pretty handily. I believe
9-0.
Yeah, 9-0 against Edison.
And I want to say kudos to the Titan girls too, because they played a juggernaut and a really good team at Alamo Heights.
They did,
and it was a good game. You know, they held them. I think it was 1-0 or something like that going into halftime, and they really competed. And so really want to tip our hat to them as well for how well Coach Hall Martinez and those ladies did in that game as well. So a great job. That Thursday was a big night, and then we came back on Monday, and the girls had they competed really well. That Canyon game was good for about three quarters of that game. We lost 4-0, I think, but the girls really they did a great job of you know what I mean. I look at it, and last year against Liberty Hill, I was getting updates. I think we were in Georgetown at the time, and with the boys, and they were getting updates. It was like 3 minutes in, we were down like 3-0 or something like that. And so just the improvement of we're playing Canyon, and I mean it was minus the first penalty kick. That kind of hurt the morale for a minute,
right?
And stuff. But you take that, and it's an even game. You know what I mean? And so, kudos to Coach Reyes and those ladies, and and her staff and everybody for putting on a good game and stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, like you said, this is a huge opportunity for the younger classmen to face that adversity, see what was once in sight, and come back even more hungry next year.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the boys, to kind of close out the show, I guess the boys soccer team for Southwest had an ESPN Classic, if you will, against Glenn High School.
Yeah.
And that was the final game at home for now. So Glenn High School.
That was the final game. There ain't no more.
Yeah,
home
there's no
games.
more home games. Yeah.
After this next game, it's on to Brownsville, and then it's on to Austin.
So they face Glenn High School. Where's Glenn High School out of? Do you know?
Leander.
Okay, so Leander. So Glenn High School comes out. This is a huge test, and I want to take a minute to talk about the resiliency of Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
They go up 2-0. They get tied up 2-2. They go into 2 overtime periods, and they win 3-2.
So we were down 1-0. We tie it up 1-1.
1-1,
We're down 2-1, tie it up 2-2. And I think if you weren't there, what you don't realize is when it was 1-0, we literally, in about a 6-minute span, we hit every post on the goal. We hit the left post, the right post,
I was getting live updates
top,
from good old Chief Palomo.
and the top post. I mean, I was like, you couldn't do that if you tried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it was just a matter of time. But, man, it was a good game. You know, and credit to Coach Romero and our kids, because if you really think about it, that's the first game they've really been tested.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah,
since the Southwest tournament back in early January.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had those 2 weeks where they went to Georgetown and played some good teams, and then they
only lost on the season.
Yeah, and then they lost to Los Fresnos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so so they had to, you know, you got to, when you're beating people 3-4, 5-0, you know, the speed of the game is not the same.
Forget the 3-4-5s. You're winning 7s and 6s. Yeah.
And so the speed of the game is like, it takes a minute to get ready to go and stuff like that. So kudos to them, man. It was a big game, and then we score in overtime, and that was huge. And so, man, it's so exciting. Can we talk about what's coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, let me just highlight some of the students who were able to get some big things happening for the Dragons. Yeah. So he's done it all year, does it again. Edson Gonzalez scores a goal there. And then you also had Hector.
That was a great play when he did that in overtime, by the way.
And then Hector Cristiano also scores a goal. And then you had also Houston Braden with a goal. And then we had 2 assists coming from Amiro Flores and from Marvin Mendez. So all 5 of those guys and the whole team as a whole, incredible job. You faced adversity. You've come out of that. And now you're taking on a juggernaut when it comes to soccer and boys soccer, especially as you go towards the Austin area. It's going to be a big game, and that's going to be, I believe, when does that game happen?
So we play
Cedar Park
High School on Friday at 7:00 in San Marcos. That is this is the regional quarterfinals now. Yeah. So we're in the last 32 teams in the state of Texas in 5A playing soccer. And if we win, then we play. If we win that game, then we go to the regional tournament. And the regional tournament is in Brownsville, and that is on next Friday, so a week from tomorrow.
Good Friday.
Is that Good Friday?
Yeah, next Friday.
So we play on Good Friday. So it'll be on Friday, and then if you win, you play right again on Saturday in Brownsville. So we'll play a team from the Valley on Friday.
Could you imagine? Most likely still in it? Could you imagine?
No, Los Fresno's the 6A.
That would have been so great to see.
So, I think when talking to Coach Romero, it would probably be something like Brownsville Porter or something like that. Yeah. And then you play the winner of one of them, and probably so Leander Glen was second place in their district. Cedar Park got third place in their district, in the same district and stuff, because they beat Alamo Heights. They beat Alamo Heights in penalty kicks.
Gotcha.
And everything. And so if we win on Friday, then we would play next Friday in Brownsville. If we win that game, then you play for the regional championship on Saturday. You win that game, then you go to the next Friday. I think it's either Thursday or Friday. You play that game in Austin for the semifinals, and then you play for the state championship on Saturday.
Gotcha.
Something like that. So that's kind of what's coming up. So we got 1, 2. You still got to win 5 games to win a state championship.
Right.
Against the best teams in the state of Texas in 5A.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are one of the best teams in the state of Texas.
No doubt,
stands
sir.
Right
no
now.
Doubt.
You're looking at the number 2 team in the city, and not by a large margin whatsoever. This team is it feels like has a lot to prove, a huge chip on the shoulder, and we just want to wish the best of luck to the team, the best of luck to the players. I think we'll be hearing these players' names a lot moving forward as they continue on, whether it be going to school, whether it be going into semi-pro or professional sports. I do think a lot of these guys have a lot of potential. So best of luck against Cedar Park.
7 p.m., San Marcos. Tickets are Tickets will be on the web. It's all digital ticketing and stuff. $6 for adults, $4 for students.
Oh, come on.
And it's at San Marcos High School, and everything's beautiful stadium. I don't want to jinx this, but I think the last time we went there, we beat Austin.
Why would you say anything?
Lanier.
Why would you say anything?
But it's a good thing. We beat Austin Lanier to go to the. That's the last time we played in San Marcos. We beat Austin Lanier to go to the regional tournament.
All right.
And stuff. And
Tell you what, it's gonna
like
be an even home game for both teams because it's right in the middle. So that's gonna be a fun one. Definitely go check that out. And then
Fire and Armor baseball too. So if you don't want to go to San Marcos, can't get there. Go watch some baseball.
Yeah, and it's opening day today for the MLB. So all you baseball fanatics are gonna be right in that baseball high. So tomorrow, come out, check some.
But the
some
WBC
local.
one was awesome.
It was incredible. It was incredible. But check out some local baseball here at Southwest ISD. Tickets are online for that one, or can you buy them at the ticket booth as well?
They're going to be online. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Tickets online there. Check it out. Fire Armor Baseball.
Hey, make sure you come back from LA from your WrestleMania business,
well,
buddy.
I'm going to be there.
I didn't know you moonlighted as a wrestler.
Big
Puppy.
I will be there. No, I'm not wearing any trunks. No masks. Nothing like that. I'll be there as a fan. But I will be back, and we will be back.
Speedo.
We will be back next week with another.
Hey, you
Scoreboard.
still owe a swimmer a race, I think, if I remember
I don't think
right.
so. Was it? His name was Brandon, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
We're battling
I'm pretty
for the
sure
name?
you're supposed to be battling for the name. It's like a 50-yard freestyle race.
You know where to find me, Brandon. I'm here. I'm here. It's a little too cold for that, though. But
Indoor pool.
But with that, we want to thank you guys for listening. We want to wish, again, the best of luck to all of our softball, baseball, golf, tennis, middle school, and soccer teams as they continue moving forward. I am Brandon Medina. That is Peter Wagner. This was Scoreboard. We will talk to you next time. And like always, we are
Southwest.